We back on that boxing talk. It's the boxing clinic and more. It's your boy CJ Goodfella. We back and about to do 3 straight boxing videos. So get ready to end off the little run we had into the morning, but on the East Coast. But again to it, Shawn Porter was asked, I think by Ellie Setback News, ES News, one of the interviewers over there. He said, "Who hit harder, Errol Spence or Keith Thurman?" And he said he was trying to be reluctant. Anytime you bring up Errol Spence, let's start there. Shawn Porter get a little bit shook, like he's scared to speak on him, man. And I could read body language, not the, you don't have to be the most exquisite body language reader out there to know that every time you just, talk about Errol Spence, this dude's whole demeanor changed. And he's in the interview had to dig deep. He said, "Who hit harder, Errol Spence or Keith Thurman?" And Shawn Porter proceeded to walk away when he asked that question. He kept walking with him like, he said, I know you sparred with Errol Spence, 2012 or whatever it is." And then Shawn Porter tried to play it off like, yeah. He was like, all right, you sparred with Errol Spence once upon a time. And Shawn Porter was like, yeah, right, once upon a time. And the reporter basically pointed it out. It was in 2012. I didn't know about this sparring they had. But apparently, according to Shawn Porter, they went 2 rounds with 16-ounce gloves on, he said. And apparently, of course, Keith Thurman is going to hit harder when you don't have headgear on and you're fighting with 8-ounce gloves. And Shawn did point that out. But he did say Keith hit harder, but Keith had on smaller gloves and no headgear on. Earl was only in there with him for 2 rounds with bigger gloves on and obviously headgear on. And, I just don't, dude, that sparring must have been one type of sparring, man, because Shawn didn't even want this interviewer to bring that up. As soon as he asked about Errol Spence, he got them moving to the other side of the gym. And once you hear them talk about, like the Porters talk about certain fighters like Terrence Crawford, Shawn Porter, Errol Spence and some guy, they hold demeanor change. Oh, those are good friends, we're buddy, they're tight. You know what I'm saying? And he's talking about he's still gunning for Keith Thurman. We understand that. Nobody got an issue with that. You want to fight Keith Thurman, that's who you want to fight. You fight Adrian Granados or Thomas Delorme you was trying to fight before you even, mention Errol Spence's name. We understand that. In that sparring, you might have got some hands laid on you. I ain't talking about prayer neither. We understand that. That's why I'm starting to read into it. Now I understand why Shawn Porter lacks confidence about Errol Spence, because they already sparred before. Let it be 2012 or 2010 or 13. If it was 2012, I believe that's the first year Errol Spence turned pro. So you had basically an amateur putting hands on you being a pro. Like I told guys, I'm not that fond of Shawn Porter inside the ring. His style is just nasty at welterweight. I'm just not fond of watching. The Berto fight was the most hardest fight to watch I've seen in a long time, other than the Erislandy Laura fight. But Shawn Porter putting on for the black fighters as sluggers, so I appreciate his style, but it's just hard to watch. And hopefully he clean up some things with his distance and not smothering people. But it's just a question I'd said no comment on. You know what I'm saying? I know he got a persona to keep up, like he a tough, rugged welterweight and all that. But I would just say no comment. Because he just looked bad in the whole interview. When you say Errol Spence in any interview, or they doing interviews with guys interviewing Kenny and Shawn Porter, and they asking them not to ask about Errol Spence in the interview, people know you shook. And I understand why, because Errol Spence laid hands on you in sparring. You felt like he was an inch or a couple punches or around a swing round or two of beating Keith Thurman. We understand that. But if I Adrian Granados and pass up on a title shot versus Errol Spence, and then they said, we don't want the IBF. We already had the IBF. You know what I mean? So, the Porters, they march to the beat of their own drum. When you say Errol Spence's name, they turn into, they turn into Miss and Mrs. Porter. You know what I'm saying? Turn a bunch of females, a bunch of golden girls. They're going to call them the Golden Girl Twins. Dude, we understand. The sparring went bad. You stopped it early. Just say, just be honest. He beat me up. I can't mess with him. Even though he ain't going to come out and say that. But it is what it is. I just know it's about his whole demeanor. He's shook.